The number of rice farmers, maize farmers, cassava farmers, yam farmers, or even smallholder farmers in Ghana, they will not be able to provide such information. So if you are coming out with a policy which is targeting, addressing concerns of these groups of farmers.
Now, Director of the Faculty of Academic Affairs and Research at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, Professor Kwesi Enin, says Ghana should be worried about the increasing gun-related crimes that sometimes claim lives. He says the production and the transportation of guns across the country requires rigorous regulation by state authorities. Speaking at a 3-day dialogue on ascertaining vulnerabilities and resilience in peace infrastructures in West Africa, Professor Enin also indicated the menace of vigilantes is far from over because such characters have transitioned into different forms and still perpetrating violence. Here's Richard Kwadunyako's report.
Professor Kwesi Enin says the dialogue fits into the larger mission and vision of the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center to contribute to creating peace and stable environment in Ghana and the West African sub-region. The workshop would focus on the set of development that can undermine Ghana's peace, the kind of structures that have been put in place to understand such developments, design appropriate response mechanisms, and ultimately to prevent it from happening. Professor Kwesi Enin was worried about the gun-related crimes in the country.
Already we are beginning to see the outlines. More violent response, more daring crimes, the transition from the use of pump-action guns to military-grade weapons, and increasingly a societal acceptance of the benefits arising out of violence and crime. Almost all the guns used in violence in this country don't come from outside. They come from within. Now, what that means is that we need to ask ourselves some really very difficult questions. That if criminals get access to all types of guns, including military-grade guns, then it means that Ghana has created a fertile ground both for the acquisition of the necessary tools for violent attacks, but also for resupply and supply networks. So we need to understand a couple of very tough interlocking dynamics. First, who are the actors who make these guns available? Who are they? Where are they located? How do they get access to these guns? What are the routes that these guns take? How do you transport guns from, say, Cape Coast to Takoradi, and we don't find out? How do we transport guns from Ghana and elsewhere?
Now, all 44 towns and villages in Drobo, led by the paramount chief Okotiridom Sechiako II, are supporting the anti-LGBTQI+ bill currently before Parliament. They describe the practice as alien and unacceptable with their traditions and culture. Addressing the media at Drobo after a meeting with the chiefs and town leaders on the bill, Okotiridom Sechiako II also issued a warning to the Member of Parliament in the area to represent their interests, else they will lose faith in him in the 2024 elections. Here's Precious Semovo's report.
The Drobo State meets every quarter to deliberate on issues of concern, but key on the agenda on Tuesday was the anti-LGBTQ+ bill, with chiefs, assembly members, youth leaders, and identifiable groups from the 14 towns and villages in Drobo. The people have unanimously expressed their support to the bill in Parliament, which would curtail the activities of the LGBTQ community because it is against their faith. They have also warned their MP, William Sokofo-Date, to ensure their position manifest during their deliberations in Parliament, else they will reject him in the next election. Okotiridom Sechiako II, the paramount chief of Drobo, spoke to the media after the meeting.
We cannot allow our culture to be derailed by this. It is purely alien to us. It is not in our culture, our religious beliefs to practice such things. So we are unanimously pledging that Drobo Man is in support of the anti-LGBTQ+ LGBTI bill. It should be passed, and we are watching out. We have warned our parliamentarian that he is to carry on with what we have sent him to do. This is what Drobomai wants him to do. If he goes to do contrary, then it means he has lost faith in us, and we also lose faith in him. And come the next elections, we will decide on this.
He, however, said they have their way of cleansing people who commit what he called abominable acts.
We believe traditionally that if we commit such abominable offenses, it is against the earth, God, and it is against our ancestors. So we don't take it kindly. I have told all my Adikuro and other chiefs that should they get evidence that somebody is engaged in this, they must let Nananum hear, and the right rituals will be performed to cleanse the land, the ancestry, God, and then he, the offender himself.
Queen Mother of Farmer Nana Ekuafeka II believes parents must get involved and educate the children of their cultural norms.
I think that as a Queen Mother, we should all come together as one so that we train our children, we talk to them to understand our norms, our traditions, and our culture. Because our children, what they see on the internet is what they are learning. They are digital. We don't wait for them to grow so that the whites or other people from elsewhere will come and pollute them that a male should marry a male or a female should marry a female.
Precious Semevo, JoyNews, Drobo.
We head now to the Ashanti region. Police have begun investigations into the killing of 3 persons in Wawase, a farming community in the Efija-Kwabre South districts of the region. A 47-year-old man is alleged to have killed his friend, claiming he saw him having an affair with his fiancée in a dream. He later allegedly stabbed and killed his grandfather and another elderly man a day after residents retrieved the body of the first victim. Ohim Interior of our security desk has been following the story and has filed this report.
The Wawase community is in grief following the alleged murder of 3 men within the space of 2 days by the Palm 1 tapper. The deceased have been identified as Kwesi Banahene, 47 years, Kwabran Kroma, 84 years, and Kwame Kwachi, 86 years. With the exception of Banahene, whose body was retrieved in the bush, the 2 other victims died at the hospital. Residents are shocked over the motive of the murder. Edusei is said to have told residents he killed Banahene because he saw him dating his fiancée in his dream. He claims he killed Openi Kwabran Kroma because he had married his wife off to another man and sees his manhood spiritually. Shockingly, he told police in his caution statement he killed Openi Kwachi, a retired teacher under the influence of alcohol. Assemblyman for Wawase electoral area, Andrews Manson, says the community is in shock and grief.
Now will be a win as I had a Obama. Says, yeah, I'm not going to talk to me, Koyanajuma. Ya one and a general and a man. 8 me banana, you know, every in chair coy. And the dream out there, Sabi one pano. The mean to me, Sweden as a or I dream how. Says, dear, I'm a corona and Casano. Ya boyina, Zegrano. At the Hunkasia. I bet you.
Families of the victims are counting their losses. Opening Kwachi was resting on a wooden bench when he was inflicted with machete wounds by the neighbor next door. His sons, Ransford Dako and Prince Asmenin, say their father was attacked without any provocation.
One can be a CB on Indiana baby crans and or yes, or buy an to say so. Miami Tricano, and hear me, papa. Said they would see bleedy. Pam na funo. Mentimina Angaza, Opmizia Dinrao, Sabende, Nani, Yami, and say, Baba back to life.
We are mourning our father, our grandfather, our everything. My father has done a lot for me. I call him my father because he take care of me. He gave me life. There's nothing much that I can say about my father. He has done a lot for me. He has made me who am I today. And it's so pathetic.
Meanwhile, the Mamponten District Court has remanded the suspect into police custody to reappear on November 8, 2021, after appearing in court on provisional murder charges. From Wawase, for Joy News, Ohimi Interior reporting.
We're still staying in the Ashanti region. A two-story maternity ward is being constructed to help ease congestion at the MANHYIA Government Hospital in Kumasi. The 440,000 cedi project is jointly funded by the Otumfuo Setutu Foundation and Joburg Foundation, a charity organization. This follows a Love News report detailing extreme congestion at the maternity ward with women in labor sleeping on the floor.
On the bare floor.
This video, shot in late 2019, documents the huge congestion at the maternity ward of the MANHYIA Hospital. Its contents showing a ward full with mothers on admission sleeping on the bare floor have generated huge public outcry and discussion.
The situation we check on the ground indicates that the congestion and the issue of space is still a reality here on the ground.
These maternity wards, the largest the size of an office canteen, hold a maximum of 9 beds each. They are all full most of the time, with mothers either expecting or delivered of their babies. After this report, the MANHYIA Palace has responded. Otumfuo's Hiahene and board chair of the King's Foundation, Nana Professor Oheneba Boakye, cut sword for work to begin on a 2-story expansion of the maternity ward.
And we are familiar with the recent social media postings about how mothers and babies lying on the bare floor. This caught the attention of His Royal Majesty. We heard that the ward has 16 beds. I thought it was more than that. And 16 beds for the number of care that is being delivered, considering the vision to become a center of excellence in the provision of quality primary health care is not enough. Thank God, partnering with Joburg, we are going to add 30 more beds.
When completed, the facility is expected to increase the capacity of the MANHYIA maternity ward from the current 16 to 46 beds for a hospital which does 80 deliveries a week. Dr. Kamaruddin Koku Hussein is medical superintendent for the MANHYIA Government Hospital.
The expansion of the maternity unit will be a great asset to the MANHYIA Government Hospital. It will also ensure dignity of our women before, during, and after childbirth. As we have seen, many of our wives and women sleep on the floor as a result of the congestion.
The Joburg Foundation has sponsored the construction of a dressmaking center in Navrongo and a COVID center for residents of English Amanfrom. President of the foundation, Joseph Magmos Mate, speaks on outlook for its third project, the MANHYIA maternity ward.
So we are just going to build a ground floor and the first floor, and then put in the space for them to be able to expand to at least about 30 beds more.
What was the cost going to be?
440,000 Ghana cedis.
You had the Erastus Asari Donkos report, and on that note, we take a breather. We'll return with business with Darryl Kwao.
Charlie, dreams come true. Just a while back, movement was not easy at all. But today, I did drive my own car. All thanks to the amazing EcoBank Auto Finance package. See, I heard the ad on the radio and did exactly as it said. I found one of EcoBank's car partners and spotted the sweet ride. When they discovered I was buying with EcoBank Auto Finance package, I automatically got an extra discount. Now, EcoBank offered me the coolest interest rates ever for my car. And that was it. Right now, I pay small and enjoy a happy life.
So don't just dream about that car. Call toll-free 0800-003-225 or walk into any EcoBank branch and ask about the EcoBank Auto Finance package. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Yamwa baba kasi boyso. If I'm a vim lady, if you're pokia, and then we are saying you, it's on say area also, and kids one year kasi. And I'm so near Busanko for say, Apomodima papa, anything.
Apomodini say, Uber boy Juma Aquaba unti brebia.
Ah, one dem rosro. So be sipi, sita. Anna. So be a bo heavy. Debia.
Oh, you are Obia Pahwading, Obia Penkwan. Edronini Hepa Plus mixture. When now no more, and come one in your modia quitty and your beer, a bebo nipedian. Hepa Plus mixture, Emma Pomodimapa.
Hepa Plus mixture, a woman nipedian Gina Yepa. Hepa Plus mixture, and your man now won't give you do me, a pin for Anna Batai.
FDA, Adi, a jetty in crowd to a atu. Hepa Plus mixture, Emma Pomodimapa.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. The Minister of Communications and Digitalization, Owusu-Aboagye, has told Joy Business that the calls for inclusion of the national passport and other forms of ID for the ongoing SIM card re-registration is being looked at. According to her, the new law under which the exercise is being undertaken specifies the kind of identification to be used, but the ministry is engaging stakeholders on the matter. Since the beginning of the exercise last week, there have been calls for government to include other forms of ID as requirements for the registration. Owusu-Aboagye says the outcome of discussions will soon be made known.
I do have some numbers, but it's still ongoing and it is going well. A few challenges have already been noticed and they're working as a sector to address them. Some of them being, what happens to Ghanaians who have SIM cards but who will not be in the country during that period. So they're working to see how the SIM registration app can be utilized for that purpose. There's also been some talk about the use of passports. Our reading of the law makes it mandatory for the national Ghana card to be the sole card used for verification of identity. So it puts us in a bit of a bind, but let's see how it goes. So if you don't have a Ghana card, just get one.
Now, the Bulk Oil Storage and Transportation Company Limited, BOST, says it would reshuffle its workers as part of measures to curb incidents of adulteration. A driver has been arrested and 9 vehicles impounded in connection with fuel adulteration at the Kumasi depot. 8 other drivers are still at large. Management says the police are currently investigating circumstances leading to the incident. Here's Managing Director of BOST, Edwin Provenza.
Normally in our operations, when the drivers come into our terminal to load, we test the products and we load them. Then, the moment they leave our facility, the responsibility of the product is transferred from BOST to the transport owner, who has to ensure that the product gets to its destination safely. They are paid for the transportation. The moment the product gets into BOST, Kumasi, it is transferred to us again. So we believe strongly and I'm sure the investigations will reveal it as well, that the adulteration happened when we handed over the product to the transport owner, who is represented by the driver. Because the cars are also sealed by NPA. And any time there is a tampering of the seal, NPA gets a notification. So between the regulator and the transport owner, they take responsibility, and the regulator monitors, the transport owner takes responsibility till the final destination. So this was done outside BOST. That is why when it got here and we tested it again, we saw that no, this product was of a different density, and so something had been done. We also realized that the color of the product had changed, and that is what prompted, that raised the alarm and got our people to call in the authorities to bring us where we are today. The products have been impounded, and all the night trucks are in one location. The police have come to see them, NPA have come to see them, and so yes, the products haven't found their way onto the market. So the public should be rest assured. We are enhancing the SOPs. What we are also trying to do is we are trying to transfer our staff across our depots. You know, when you stay in one place for a long time, you get too comfortable. And so these are some of the internal decisions we'll be taking in the near future, where our staff will be moved across our depots and then strengthening the processes as well.
And that's the latest in business. There's more coming up at the top of the hour on the marketplace. We have the latest inflation numbers. Do tune in. Sports is up next.
You only cough, never cough, syrup, class away, class away. Oh yeah, we can't get Besa, Namibia, Nina Wobo, honey and ginger, licorice and basil, long pepper and violet. You only cough, never cough, syrup, class away, class away.
Effective for relief from cough, sore throat, and throat irritation. New Honey Cough, class away. Manufactured and distributed by NS Chemist Limited. This advert is FDA approved.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the sports segment with me, Rick Wampa. For Black Stars head coach Mamavi Owusu-Aboagye says winning matches is the most important thing and is rather better than playing well sometimes. Now, speaking after the senior national team's 1-0 win over Zimbabwe on Tuesday, the Serbian said he is excited to have got maximum points despite spending only 5 days with the team at the training ground. There's more in this report.
Mamavi Owusu-Aboagye was reappointed late last month to succeed CK Akno after the Executive Council of the Ghana Football Association decided to part company with the former Asante Kotoko head coach. Milo led the Black Stars to back-to-back wins against Warriors of Zimbabwe. The recent was a 1-0 victory in Harare, courtesy of a free kick from stand-in skipper Thomas Partey. He says, despite having limited time, the senior national team, he is excited about the outcome of the two matches.
Yeah, this was a very tough match, as I said in the beginning, and it's a competitive match. So both teams were competitive today, and maybe we didn't see some beautiful football today, but you know, at some situations you just have to play for the result, and the result is the most important in the end. So and a very short period between the two matches, you know, and
The next round of qualifiers will see the Black Stars travel to Ethiopia to face the Warriors before hosting South Africa at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. The Serbian has already switched attention to those matches.
Since I came here recently, so I didn't have much time. We were training only for 5 days, you know, and the most important thing is that the mission is accomplished. We got 6 points after these 2 matches, so and our confidence is getting higher, so we are expecting the next 2 matches and we have to prove the point.
Ghana must secure 6 points in the last 2 matches to book qualification to the next phase of the qualifiers.
To swimming, where Ghana has won its first medal at the ongoing 14th Ghana African Juniors and Senior Swimming Championships at the Bukom International Arena. Joy Sports' Haruna Mubarak was there and has the details on what happened on day 2.
A couple of countries who are yet to win a medal improved their performances at the Trust Sports Emporium International Pool. But eventually, it was South Africa and Egypt who ran the show. They dominated the juniors category once again. No medal for any of Ghana's 8 juniors who competed. Ghana was on the verge of going another day without a medal until this man, Abeku Jackson, stepped up and delivered in the men's 100-meter butterfly event. Abeku finished the race in the 3rd position with a time of 53.98 seconds.
In his short career, Abeku has won over 30 gold medals for Ghana and represented the country at 2 Olympics, with the recent one being in Tokyo a few months ago, where he topped this race and set a national record of 53.39 seconds, which is why winning the bronze today feels like a defeat for the 21-year-old.
The gold winner, an Algerian, Suad Jawad, who finished the race with a time of 52.89 seconds, was understandably delighted.
Actually, I was pretty happy to race. It's always good to race at the moment of the season. It's just the beginning, but I'm pretty happy about the time. And I hope I'm going to get faster and faster during the season. And also, I wanted to thank all the Ghanaian people because you have a so nice pool. Okay, the weather is a bit warm here, but it's always nice to race in another country in Africa, and I have a lot of respect for you. Guys, thank you very much.
Abeku Jackson is the guy that Ghanaians trust, but you're able to beat him. How did you do that?
Yeah, he was actually pretty fast, and I was a bit stressed to lose against him. And it was a very nice race, and I think at the beginning of the season it means nothing. And I'm sure he's a very good potential, and he will get faster and faster, so that's for me a concurrent, and I have to watch out.
Ghana will be hoping to build on the bronze winning feat for more medals on day 3 of the Games.
That was a report by Joy Sports' Haruna Mubarak. That's how we wrap up the sports here. We'll be back at 2 p.m. to bring you the latest in the world of sports when Sports Today comes your way live here on the Joy News channel.
This Wednesday on the Joy Business Van. Looking for a car? We feature one of Ghana's fastest growing online car rental platforms, Swoop a Car, connecting car owners to prospective clients looking for cars to rent on the go.
Uber is new in this country, and Uber operates as a taxi service, right? So we don't have anything that operates in a rental space like Uber. And considering the experience that I was going through, it makes sense to actually have something similar to Uber, but it actually focuses on the rental market, because it would have been very easy for me to pick up the phone, look for a car that I want to rent, find options in terms of like pricing, right? And then quickly book it and have it available to me, like delivered to me, just as Uber will come and pick you up at your home.
Yusuf Seidu, pharmacist and digital marketer and founder of online car rental platform Whoopper, will be sharing the journey of the startup so far. The Joy Business Van on TV, radio, online, and on ground. Powered by Joy Business and supported by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and MTN, everywhere you go.
In foreign news, Turkish foreign minister has said Turkey will do what is necessary for its security after what it described as a rise in cross-border attacks by the Syrian Kurdish People's Protection Units. The comments were made by Turkey's top diplomat on Tuesday, a day after President Tayyip Erdogan said an attack that Ankara blamed on the YPG that killed 2 Turkish police was the final straw, and that Turkey was determined to eliminate threats originating in northern Syria. Now, the new army chief in Burkina Faso promised a new strategy in the fight against terrorism. He took office on Tuesday as the new chief of general staff of the armed forces, promising a new approach to deal with extremist violence in the country. Mr. Rodrigo said terrorism in its entirety has plunged the country into a so-called asymmetric war since 2015. It is an irregular war, an unconventional war for which the national armed forces were not sufficiently prepared. He was appointed on October 6th, replacing General Mimungu, who spent less than 3 months as head of the army. The Minister of Defense reaffirmed his support for the new approach. And that's all in world news. Indeed, that's it for Joy News Today. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. On behalf of the production team, we thank you for watching. See you next time.
People before power. We're about the people, not the powerful. Joy News, independent,